Well, good evening, good morning, good night, whatever, wherever you are uh, in the world, whatever time zone you're in. Welcome back to BWE Live. I am Dr. Jacqueline King, CEO and founder of Black Women in Power, and I have Dr. Challotine Cius-Bonds with me, and she's an amazing woman doing a bunch of amazing things. But first of all, let me just say, how are you?
I'm doing great, and thanks for having me here. I really love the platform and what it stands for, so I'm very honored to be here and to talk to you and
Well,
everyone else.
well, we're glad to have you. As you come in, let us know where you're tuning in from, and share the broadcast, please. So, you do multiple things. I actually don't have your
Mhm.
bio in front of me, but talk a little bit about what you're doing, and then we can get into the conversation.
Okay, so I'm a naturopathic doctor. I have two PhDs, one in naturopathy and one in philosophy of natural medicine. I'm also a herbalist as well, and I'm an author. I wrote a children's book. And I focus specifically on women and children of culture and color. So I try to infuse both cultural humility as well as uh, in the importance of spirituality in part of what we do for the women that we take care of within our community. So that's something that's extremely important to me. It's something that is my passion in life, the thing that I feel like, God has called me to do. So that's my focus. So I have two separate companies. One is Genu LLC, which is, just it's our our wellness brand. There's a store as well as wellness services in the office. And then the others are nonprofit Genu Postpartum Center, which we're trying to open up now here in Fairburn. And we're in the process of opening that location as well.
Yeah, and so you and I, we got together, and so BWE really cares about women, Black women, and Brown women, mortality and childbirth. It's so, I mean, it's being talked about, but I think that more money can be utilized to help prevent that for education, um, and whatever else needs to be done, to make sure that women know what to look for, the signs and all. And I know that's some of the things that you address. So talk a little bit about that. As you come in, let us know where you're coming, where you're tuning in from. Thank you.
So the thing for me is that it's encompasses so many different things, within our culture, within our communities. When you think of Black and Brown women, there's so many cultures within being Black, right? So my family's Haitian, but there's so many different levels to it, right? Because you have a cultural component, you have a spiritual component, you have things that they've inherited as well, and their environment and socioeconomic stuff is going on as well. But I feel like what's going on is that we keep talking about, saving lives because, these women are it's a lot of the reasons why they're passing away or they're having complications is because they're not being heard. And it doesn't matter if their doctor is brown, Black, white, whatever. People are still treating women of color differently. And Black women are on the higher spectrum of being neglected than any of the other ethnicities. And so that's problematic. It's problematic where me as a Haitian woman, Haitian American woman, I was born in this country, but my family's Haitian. That's my heritage. If I go to Haiti right now, I don't have any, any more, you know, um, resources than I would there than I would here. That makes no sense to me. And all they have is a lot of midwives and families, not so much hospitals. We have full-fledged hospitals that these women can go to. There is so many resources, so much technology, but we're still dying from things that are preventable. Women having, Black women have a lot of women who are passing away from preeclampsia. They're dying from high blood pressure that triggers the preeclampsia, right? You have people who are dying from hemorrhaging. That is like simple things that women are telling you, or maybe don't even notice, but you're not checking on her. And if she tells you there's something wrong, they're just kind of like, oh, okay, that's fine. I mean, I've experienced it myself as a mother. I've had 3 children, I've had 3 C-sections, and in every single pregnancy, I've had something go wrong, and I have to like fight to say, hey, look at me, there's an issue. I'm telling you there's an issue. You need to address it. And so I feel like a lot of this stuff is just preventable. And there's no reason why in this day and age that we should be fighting to be heard. And that's the only thing that we need to do to be saved. That to me is it's just sad in itself.
And what is preeclampsia? Because my cousin actually lost her daughter. She was 8 months because she had it.
Oh, okay. Okay. You mean she was 8 months pregnant, or the baby was 8
She was
months?
8 months pregnant.
She was 8 months pregnant. Yeah. So you can have it during pregnancy. Your blood pressure pretty much skyrockets, and that's what triggers it when you have preeclampsia. And it literally it's kind of like sudden death syndrome. If you don't pay attention to it, anything could happen to you, and it causes you to hemorrhage even more too if you do have that kind of issue after birth and during birth. We're in that window for like the first 72 hours after you give birth. You're in that window of preeclampsia happening, but the first sign is your blood pressure. If that blood pressure spikes up and no one's paying attention to it, anything can go wrong and go south after that. And so I think that the biggest thing is just something as simple as making sure that, our clients have a blood pressure cuff to check their blood pressure throughout the day for the first 72 hours. I like to do it for 14 days because I don't like to take any chances versus, just the 72 hours. But that's what causes it. And I mean, most doctors say that there is no one really knows what causes it. And that's one of the things I can't stand about traditional medicine is the fact that they don't even try to figure out a concrete reason or give you several reasons. They just say, hey, we don't know why it happens, it just happens. And I'm like, the body doesn't just miraculously just say, hey, I'm going to just trigger this one issue. There's underlying reasoning for it. And so our goal is to always be mindful of those underlying reasonings, like the blood pressure issues, like them feeling weak or faint. So there's some self-tests you can do too. Like if you press the skin, people who have preeclampsia, if you press their skin, it'll leave a dent. It's like a little dent in their skin. So that's one of the other things that are just like simple ways to check to see if you have it. Lightheadedness is another one. But again, a lot of the symptoms for preeclampsia are symptoms for other things too, because the symptoms are very subtle. They're not always major things that you're going to notice right away.
I know my cousin said she went to the doctor and told them she didn't feel good. And they said, oh, it's just this, and go home. You'll be fine. Take some Tylenol, whatever it is they told her. And yeah, and I believe, I don't remember the whole story, but after so long, she didn't feel the baby moving anymore. And baby had died.
Yeah, I understand that because that
Mhm.
actually happened to me. The baby had passed, didn't know. This was before I had my son. He was my second child, and I didn't know. I didn't know what was going on. When my blood pressure rose so high because I never had high blood pressure that I had temporarily had like blindness, and I was like, it just blacked out. It was all black. And when it blacked out, I was like, oh my God, my blood pressure is skyrocketed. I just knew that because that's a symptom of high blood pressure, is if it gets so high, it could literally blind you. And so when it happened like that, I was like, oh my God, something's wrong. And so I had to ask, and then they still just kind of took their time. They're like, oh, it was just amazing to me how it doesn't matter how many degrees you have, how much education you have, how much money, like it does not matter. They literally are just like, and then they don't really give you that many options. And so that's what I'm trying to prevent. I want to prevent all this stuff. I want to be an advocate and make sure that these women understand this is, you have so many other options. It's not just, oh no, you have to demand that care. You're paying for it. You know what I mean? And so we're not asking enough of our healthcare providers. We're asking very little of them, and we shouldn't ask. We should ask for more because our lives are at risk. Because the one time in a woman's life that she's more likely to die is during childbirth. That's it. So you don't want to just have your life in the hand of just anybody who's not going to listen to you, who's not going to pay attention to you when you're talking to them.
And what are some of the questions that women should be asking their physicians or?
Yeah. So one of the things that they should be asking is, how many C-sections have they, have they performed? Because sometimes that's a red flag in itself. Because sometimes there's certain doctors, that's all they do. They don't even try to do natural birth. It's just doing C-sections left and right. And you want to lessen the likeliness of you having C-sections. And the reasoning why they decided to go with C-sections, like when is it the right reason for it? You know what I mean? Like getting their feedback and understanding why they would do one. Because here in Atlanta, they do a lot of C-sections. I've done
They
my
get
research
paid
in
a
a lot
lot
of.
more money for C-sections, don't they?
Yeah, they sure do. So that's something that you want to ask the doctor. You also want to ask what your blood type is and make sure that your support system, all the people that are part of your support system, know what your blood type is, because that will save your life. If something happens, you hemorrhage or you bleed out for whatever reason, you want to be able to get to it quickly. They don't give them time to try to find tests and stuff happens to you in the process, and let your husband, spouse, whoever is with you, know what your blood type is, because that's something that's extremely important. The other thing is if you're going to have like a midwife or a doula or someone else supporting you outside of your OB, or if you don't have an OB, you want to always make sure that you ask if you decide to move forward with an OB, to ask them if they're okay with having a doula, what their thought process is, to make sure that that's even a good fit for you, because you may not want to get rid of your doula, and this person or the hospital that you're going to go to may not be welcoming to them because they're not welcome everywhere, unfortunately.
And Doc, Brittany says she wants to connect. You can find her on LinkedIn. Her name is right there on the
Yeah.
screen. Just go ahead and send her a request. She said she's highly interested in holistic medicine and would like your insight on conducting clinical research in natural medicine.
Yep,
So
I'm happy to help.
send her a request. You can do that. And so you're doing a lot. You're opening up. Tell me about the clinic. This is exciting that you are
Yes, it's
endeavoring
my
to open up.
my pet project. I love this thing. Like it's been in my brain for like 10 years, and it's finally coming to fruition. So for me, I love my culture. I ooze my culture, and I love everything about what they do with postpartum care. And they take so much pride and love and care in how they treat their women after birth. It's like your whole entire family is in your house, and everybody's on duty, right? Someone's washing the dishes, someone's taking care of you, someone's taking care of the baby, someone's getting a rose bath ready for you. Like whatever it is that you need, they're there for you, and it's the support. It's like you have this tribe. And I wanted to be able to provide that same experience for Black and brown women that either don't have that connection with their culture anymore, or that just want to have a better experience for their recovery. I want to get rid of this snapback reality that's going on right now, where women feel like they need to get back in shape in 2.5 seconds right after they have a baby. I want them to enjoy the process. They're less likely to go into postpartum depression if they allow themselves to naturally go through the process of postpartum. Postpartum lasts 18 to 24 months. It is not a shake and bake situation. Like, you need to let your body heal. You should not be wearing corsets right when you walk out the door. It does, and everybody's body's different. Most women, when they have a baby, you still look like you're 2 or 3 months pregnant. That's how you're supposed to look. That is natural. That is not something to look down at or to have a problem with. And I want these women to walk out of our office with confidence. So the postpartum center is going to have 25 rooms in it. and we're going to house the women after they give birth. So basically, you give birth to your baby, you come to us, we take care of you and your support person, whoever that is for you, whether it's your mom, your sister, your husband, brother, whatever. They'll come in with you. They'll stay with you for 3 to 7 days, and we'll take care of you. Make sure that you're eating right. You're making sure that you have no issues with lactation if you're deciding to move forward with breastfeeding. We're giving you all the tools that you need to recover. And then on top of that, you have an 18-month membership with us. So as part of that membership, you get massages, you get lymphatic drainage, pelvic floor massages, you get occupational therapy for anything that's gone wrong with your hips. We help you with everything that has to do with your recovery. If you have plantar fasciitis in your feet, to have issues from having the baby, we're helping you with that process. Your knees, because a lot of times when people have C-sections, there's water that builds up in their knees. We help with that process as well. So whatever it is that we need to do to make sure you're back to 100, that's what we're going to do at the center. And then we're providing the space. The space is a sacred space. We have, like I said, we cater to the whole woman. So we cater to you, your spiritual beliefs. We cater to your cultural way of doing things. We don't look down at anyone for any reason whatsoever. We try to embrace all parts of that woman to help them with their journey. So it's very individualized. It's not going to be some cookie cutter thing. We're taking care of you the way we need to take care of you so that you could be at 100%.
Thank you. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Please share the broadcast. I know that you know someone that needs to hear this information. So I actually had my first child naturally, and then I had a C-section for my second child because she was 10 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. That's what I say too.
I was almost
And
10 pounds too, so don't feel bad.
yeah. And the doctor, I only dilated 1.5 centimeters.
Oh, wow.
I was in labor for 14 hours. And the doctor came to me and said, "There's no way this baby's going to come out this way. Too big." And I mean, they induced, which is the worst of the worst. If you
The
ask
pain is
me.
higher.
Oh my gosh, I'll never forget it. And people say you forget it. You don't forget it. Yeah, you forget it after yeah, whatever. I know that inducing was horrible.
Yeah, inducing does cause more pain than having it happen naturally on its own. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, natural on its own is pretty bad too. But
Mm-hmm.
but this is good information. The questions to ask, even when you first go to the doctor, should you be taking vitamins? What should you be doing when you first find out that you're pregnant?
Yeah, prenatal vitamins is one of the first things you need to be doing, and drinking a lot of water. Being hydrated is very important, and then getting tested for your iron early is good. Some doctors wait later to get tested for your iron, but having enough iron is very important because a lot of women are anemic during pregnancy. So getting tested for it early is a good thing to do so that you know if you need to take additional iron when you're prepping for the baby. The other thing is making sure that you do your homework early. Do your homework early when you find out you're pregnant. Start shopping for doctors early. Don't wait, ask your girlfriends, other people for recommendations, but also do interviews with your doctors. A lot of people miss that step. It's like they're like, I'm going to choosing the doctor based on the 5-star rating or whatever I see online. Have a conversation with them. And then most insurance companies have a cutoff when you can switch doctors. So find out what that cutoff is, because you may have 1 or 2 appointments with the doctor and then you decide, hey, I don't want this person. And you still have a window to switch doctors in that window of time, and just making sure that they align with what it is that you're trying to accomplish. But my biggest thing for all moms is take expectation, toss them out the door. When it comes to pregnancy, they're all different. They come in different ways. The babies come in different sizes, shapes. Every pregnancy is different, even if you've been pregnant 3 times in the same body. So just take those expectations, kind of put them aside. Have your plan. I'm not saying not to have a plan, but just don't be married to the plan. Understand that it's adjustable, because that's one of the precursors to postpartum depression. Is people get depressed because it didn't happen the way that they expected it to happen, or that their body failed them, or that they failed their body, or that they failed the baby because something happened, or an emergency happened, or something that was not part of their plan didn't happen. So if you relieve yourself of that burden, you're less likely to go into a depressive state if something like that happens during the pregnancy or after the pregnancy.
So we know that there are a lot of Black women who are having babies, by themselves, and that
Mm-hmm.
that itself is an issue,
Yes.
because if you don't have anybody to lean on during and before, during, after the pregnancy, all of it, that's a big deal, right?
It is. It is. It causes severe depression. And the thing is, depression can happen during the pregnancy. People think it's they only talk about postpartum depression, but during the pregnancy, there is perinatal depression. Like there's people who literally are having depression during the pregnancy because they don't have the support that they need, or there's pressures in their home or at work that's causing even more issues, and they'll have more depressive state, and they're more likely to have other complications during the pregnancy because of those pressures and stresses. So it's very, very important to focus on that aspect as well too. Trying to keep yourself sane. So like one of the things that I do in practice is I'll have mom and dad come together, and I'll make them make a list of anything that's an issue right now, and anything that could become an issue during the pregnancy or afterwards. Like, hey, how many people are going to be in the delivery room? He might want his mom there, and she's like, no, you can't be in there. That's a conversation that can cause issues and confusion and make the person upset. And the goal is to make sure mom is at peace as much as possible during the pregnancy, because our feelings and emotions are being absorbed by the baby as well. So it's not just affecting you, it's affecting your body as well as the fetus or the child that's inside of you. So you want to make sure that anything that's a hot topic, you address it before pregnancy or really early on, so you reduce the level of stress or complications that can happen during the pregnancy and after the pregnancy. So that's one of my big things. Write it all down, get it all out the way, hash out anything that needs to be hashed out, anything that y'all need to talk about concerning the baby. Just go through it and go through that motion early on so it doesn't become something problematic later.
When my daughter had my grandson, they gave her epidural. Now my daughter's is close to 6 foot tall, if not six, and I think they gave her too much, because she actually, when it came time to push, she couldn't feel the push,
Mm-hmm.
and so her doctor actually is from Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
and she what she did was she had a sheet. She was one of my favorite doctors out of North Carolina. So she had my daughter pull on the sheet and her husband pull on the sheet to tighten her
Mm-hmm.
muscles to get the
To
baby
your
to come,
baby. Mm-hmm.
because she couldn't feel anything.
Yep.
Is there such thing as giving you too much of that? I mean, because
Everybody's body is different. That's the thing. Because everybody's body reacts differently. Like I went into labor using Cervidil without even getting to the part of being induced. They're like, we're just gonna soften your cervix. And as soon as they softened the cervix, I was dilated. My body was like, shoot. It didn't even wait for the rest of it to happen. So I didn't even have to end up getting Pitocin. But everybody's body is different. So, and again, this whole one size fits all medicine, what kind of causes a lot of complications and issues. They have specific dosages that they use, and the person's body may or may not react differently to that medication. And to Brittany's point right here, the question that she was asking about the VBAC
yeah,
versus
that's
the
what I was gonna. We're
C-section.
gonna do it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm all for VBACs. I think that if it is possible, you should do it. It's a better option. It's natural, less downtime, and you don't have to do as much healing. And the thing is with C-sections you're more likely to go into a depressive state having a C-section than not having a C-section, because a lot of the hormones and things that are supposed to do this thing are not. They're basically being stopped because your natural aspects of your body is not functioning the way that it needs to function. And like I said, more people kind of are more harder on themselves after a C-section versus someone who has a natural birth. Doesn't mean that you are not susceptible to postpartum depression because you had a natural birth. It's just there's less complications when you have a natural birth versus having a C-section. Because C-section is actually major surgery. It's not simple. It sounds like it's some simple, quick and easy. The way they talk about it, so frequently.
I really, that's what I said. I said, oh, I just want to get a C-section. But the recovery is a beast.
We said it
is a beast. I felt like a year. I'm serious. I felt like a year. I was still having pains.
Yep.
From that surgery. It was awful. Then you got that little pocket. Look like a kangaroo.
No, but it's the truth though. It happens. Because that muscle, it's almost like that muscle has died. The atrophy that happens to that muscle underneath that band is gone. And you have to go through physical therapy and do all this bunch of stuff to get that, just to get the feeling back, because it's like a numbing feeling.
I never had no physical therapy.
Yeah. And that's my thing. They don't even give it as an option. So it's like, that's why that's why we want to have the center, and why the center has to happen, because there's so many options, and they're always telling you, oh, you can never get your abdominal back. I've heard that so many times from doctors. You can never get your abdomen to go back to normal after having a C-section or having a baby once it's separated, but so many inches. And or you have to get surgery. And I was like, that's a lie. I mean, there's a whole bunch of women all over the world with flat bellies with their muscles back intact. So we can do the same thing too. And there's so many ways to do it. Everybody's body is different. So you just got to figure out what's their best solutions. But yes, it is possible to repair that.
Siobhan, well, my baby is 38 years old now. So, I mean, but I know the numbness, and it stayed for a long time. I mean, I don't even think it's like 100% now, to tell you the truth. But Siobhan says, I think I'm in early menopause. Can I still get pregnant?
As long as you ovulate, you can still get pregnant.
Yep. All right, don't go out there, Siobhan, messing around thinking that you good now. You could.
No, as long as you're ovulating, you can.
What? Tell me, yep. I thought I was safe. Oh.
Yeah, because those eggs will still release, so you still have a chance of getting pregnant as long as you're ovulating.
Cassandra says, I'm trying to see what she says. I've had 5 children, all vaginal, had some induced, I guess you're saying, on like 2 of my babies. My last baby was 11 pounds. She's now 11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can't do that. Induced. Well, of course, I'm way past that. I went through menopause. Menopause twice. I actually had fibroids, which I know you probably deal with that too. And so that's very high in our community. With our, and now they're saying that the relaxers that we use cause the fibroids. Because I had relaxers for years and years and years, but I opted not to have hysterectomy. I decided to have a fibroid embolization. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like it was working, but guess what? One little fibroid didn't shrink. It lodged in my uterus wall and started sucking my blood, which made me anemic. And it was painful. So I had to end up having to have a hysterectomy anyway.
Anyways.
And I had already gone through menopause. They put me right back into full-fledged menopause.
Oh,
So I
wow.
had twice
Oh,
women
wow.
menopause. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Do
it's
you deal with women who are dealing with menopause as well?
yes, yes. We do deal with women who deal with menopause.
What?
Because
Wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa. Go ahead. She said she got pregnant with her tubes tied.
girl, I believe you.
That's some
I
scary stuff right
Oh
there.
no, I believe you because um I had a client who told me a story, and it was, we laughed about it because that was kind of similar situation. Her tubes were tied. She got pregnant. She went back to the doctor and was like, "How did I get pregnant? You're supposed to have two times." The doctor looked at her and said, "I'm not God." And we both busted out laughing because we're like, it's not foolproof. None of it is foolproof,
I thought
unfortunately.
if you get them burned and cut and all
Yep,
that stuff,
she did everything. She burned, fried and died, like she
and
still got
and she
pregnant.
still got pregnant. Oh my god!
She got pregnant, and the
Now
doctor said,
that
"I'm
would
not
have sent
God. You
me
were
into
part of
a
the
major depression.
consent."
What? I'm not
uh,
kidding.
yeah, so it's none of it is foolproof. There, I mean, the percentages are pretty high, but they're still not foolproof. Whether you have a vasectomy or tubes tied does not mean that you cannot, have a baby.
Somebody was getting sued. I'm sorry.
But it does
That's a
happen.
lawsuit. What?
Yeah, it don't happen all the time, but it is something that happens. So you still have to be mindful of that. As long as you can't still ovulating, there's always going to be a chance that you can't get
No,
pregnant.
ma'am. Mm-mm. I'm so glad. Thank you, Jesus, that didn't happen to me. That was not going to be a good day.
Oh, that's funny.
So, what information do you want to lead them with? Okay, so I know you want to. You said you have a GoFundMe. Is that what you have?
Yeah, we have a GoFundMe for the Janu Postpartum Center. So if you go to our actual website, it's janunatural.com, JNOU, natural.com. That's where my services are at. If anybody wants to contact me for my services, but the nonprofit is Janu Postpartum Center.org. That's JNOU Postpartum Center.org. And there you can donate to the fund. Right now, we're trying to raise $50,000 to just kick off everything. We do have a potential site, and our city is backing the project. So it's something that they're caring about because we live in a healthcare and food desert. So Fairburn is 80% Black, but we do not have healthcare services out here the way that we need to, especially not like OBGYNs and anyone to kind of help with that. Everybody has to drive into Atlanta or further north towards, what would it, still Atlanta, but more like Decatur, Sandy Springs areas, so people are driving over an hour away to get decent health care for postpartum care, any of that stuff. And our center will be one of a kind. There will be nothing like it in South Fulton, which covers Atlanta as well as our city and a couple other smaller cities. So it's going to be something that's going to be very important for our community, very important for us to be able to do workshops, to provide free services for women of color that are there. We're going to partner with as many organizations that's open to partnering with us so that we can raise the funding, because the building itself and getting it operational is going to cost us $1.1 million. So the 50,000 is just really covering the rent. So, and then we still have to go and do the build out and get everything up and running. The goal is to have it up and running by the end of the year. And so I am happy to, partner in any way, shape or form with anyone who believes in our cause and what we're trying to do. Cause we're pretty much trying to put our money where our mouth is. I know this is a hot topic. This is something that everybody's talking about, but no one's putting money behind it. And so we're trying to make sure that we can fund it and actually have it up and running and working. And this is a nonprofit, so it's not like some billion-dollar thing that we're trying to do. We're trying to take every single cent and make sure that it goes back into the community and help as many women as we can. There is a telehealth version of it. So even if you don't live here in Fairburn and you need the assistance, we will help you from afar. So don't think that you can't qualify just because you don't live in our direct community.
And also, if you see our directory going across the bottom of the screen, Dr. Bonds is in the directory. So I don't have to type it. You can go right to her page in the directory and you can get right to her website from there. BlackWomenPowerDirectory.com. All you business owners, entrepreneurs, you need to get in there. That is, it's for us, by us. That's what my girl did a commercial. She said, I mean, really, it's a really nice directory. You can put your YouTube videos, your blogs, your website. Um, it really is very inclusive, where you can put a lot of information in there. And so, and all your social media sites you can have there too. So go to Black Women Empowered Directory, look Dr. Bonds up. What do you have it under? I don't remember. Do you know what you put it under? Did you put it in? Mm-hmm.
The Janu. It's under Janu, Jnou. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So you don't even, I only have to type it in because you can go right there. You can donate you can go to our website and donate to our fund. This is a um, great thing that you're doing. I'm very proud. And I don't even know how we met. I really don't remember. I know we met on LinkedIn, but I
We
don't
did.
remember. You sent me oh, yeah, that's right. You sent me a request. That's what it was.
Yep, on
Remember
LinkedIn.
now.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so, yeah, go to her site. We will be doing some other things together. And so look for, her to be coming on live and doing some things in the future. I want to thank you, Dr. Challotine, for first of all just being who you are and doing what you do. I had spent a nice amount of time with you, and I know that you do it from the heart. It's not about the money. It's about a passion that you have. And I always say, if you can uncover your passion, then your purpose you've already uncovered as well. And I know that this is your passion and your purpose. So thank you so much. We want to thank everyone that tuned in. Please share the broadcast, so that we can reach women all over. We're actually on 5 Facebook pages right now. We're on LinkedIn and we're on YouTube simultaneous. I didn't realize that Twitter changed. We can't go live on Twitter anymore because you have to have a premium account. It's always about the money. So they won't let you go live unless you upgrade to their premium account. That it wasn't always like that, but that's Elon Musk, his thing. Make sure that you watch our broadcast we did on Kamala Harris. It is on our page as well. It's on our YouTube page. And the reason why she is the best choice that we have. Hill Harper popped in, so go back and see that. Make sure you're registered to vote. And if you see fit, donate some money to help um, Kamala get elected. This is it, your life depends on it. It really does. It's not a joke. It's not optional. It is a necessity. I thank you. I thank all of our followers that have been following us. We've been doing this for it'll be 13 years in November.
Oh, wow.
We have close to 4 million followers on all of our social media platforms. We're on TikTok, we're on Pinterest, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn. We're everywhere. So you can go to you actually, if when you go to blackwomenempowereddirectory.com, down the bottom, you can link to all of our social media pages. I do consulting. So if you need, and Dr. Charlotte, she'll tell you, I will give you my time and help you to get to where you need to, but it is not free. Uh, Anything worth having is worth paying for. And that's a fact. I love you all. There's nothing you can do about it. Have a blessed evening. Doc, we'll be back
Yes.
together soon. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a great day. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. God bless.
All right. Bye.